Relations are like the needles of a clock. They come closer for only some time but stay connected always. Very few human beings actually know the meaning of being human. It means showing compassion, showing love, showing gratitude. But the way we are reflecting and prevailing over the planet has shifted its meaning to show terror, envy and ego. This paradox of our times was propounded by Dalai Lama, who said we have wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We have taller buildings but shorter temples, more degrees but less sense. We have bigger houses but smaller families. We are actually in the era of two incomes but more divorces. The days of fancier houses but broken homes. Don't you find it perplexing that we have domesticated the lions but we are struggling to control our own mind? The problem with us is that we have cleaned the air but we have polluted our soul. Over time, we have learned to maintain relations, but we have not learned to value relations. I can see you frowning and in doubt since I am tracing relations over and over again. ADIDAS and PUMA. The two giant companies grew out of bitter rivalry between the two brothers. Relation. Adolf Dassler and Rudolf Dassler. The two Dassler brothers lived in the town of Herzogenaurach in Germany. Their father worked at a shoe factory and mother ran her own small laundry. While Adolf was still at school, Rudolf was learning shoemaking with his father. However, the World War broke out in 1914 and things changed completely for the family. Both Adolf and Rudolf were called upon to render services to the German army. In the meantime, when the war went on, not many shoe factories in the town had to shut down. At the end of the war, even their mother had to give up on her business as very few people could afford laundry services. However, Adolf was determined to start something fresh and he wanted to build his own legacy. He, accompanied by his brother later, started designing and making shoes for sports and they formed Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory. Both the brothers came up with a proposition that was entirely new, making shoes only for sports, as sports was still an uncommon pastime in the post-World War. Setting up a business at that time was a brave decision as the World War had just ended and Germany eventually suffering severe economic crisis. Both the brothers got along very well in the beginning. They attracted orders and could make money in the early years. Although their characters were a lot different. Adolf was a quiet, thoughtful craftsman who designed and made shoes, while Rudolf was a passionate salesman. There was always a certain rivalry between the two brothers, especially at the sports tournaments. In 1933, Adolf Hitler seized power of Germany, and this actually opened up new possibilities for the Dassler brothers to expand their business as the Nazi party was very keen on sports. Both the brothers became members of the Nazi party, a move which they regretted later. Their business continued to flourish and Dasslers became one of the richest people of the town. Then came the Summer Olympics 1936. Athletes from all over the world came to Berlin to compete in the most prestigious of sporting event. The legendary US sprinter Jesse Owens was one of the Olympic athletes. Adolf Dassler saw this as an opportunity. He went to the Olympic village with a suitcase full of spikes and persuaded Jesse Owens to use them. The Olympic stage was the perfect stage for the Dassler brothers' products. While the eyes of the world were focused on Adolf Hitler, it was hoped that they would also notice the running shoes made by Dasslers. Jesse Owens' 4 gold medals created huge awareness of the Dassler shoes, and the company made full use of that in advertising its products. Their business went up to a new level and flourished tremendously. But it was no sooner that the World War II erupted, which caused a break in the company's future. The World War II marked the end of the Dassler Brothers shoe factory and gave rise to ADIDAS and PUMA. Both the brothers were once again called upon to render services to the German army. But Adolf was allowed to return soon. Rudolf often had to report for duties, and this increased the grudge between the two brothers. The day the bombs fell marked the turning point for the Dassler brothers and for the city. During the war, the Allied bombers targeted their home region. Rudolf was far off when the Allied bombers targeted his home region. Rudolph, his wife and children took cover in a bomb shelter. After a bomb attack, Adolf, his wife and children took cover in the same bomb shelter occupied by Rudolph and his family. Now listen to me very carefully. The dirty bastards are back again, Adolf said. He apparently referred to the planes, but Rudolph thought that the comment was an attack against his family. After the World War II, both the brothers were arrested by the Americans. But the Americans were particularly impressed on how Adolf had helped the US athletes in the Olympic Games. So he was released soon. Rudolph was sent to the American internment camp, and there he was told by the Americans that he was betrayed by someone close to him. Rudolph's first thought was that his brother had betrayed him. Moreover, he thought that his brother had betrayed him to take possession of the business. Rudolph was extremely provoked, and in anger, he was ready to go war again, this time against his brother. When Rudolph was released after 12 months, both the brothers fought for sole authority in the company. The only solution to this was to divide the business. Eventually, when the firm was divided, 2/3 of the workers, mostly craftspeople, went with Adolf, and the rest 1/3, mostly salesmen, went with Rudolph. Thereafter, Adolf founded ADIDAS and Rudolph founded Ruda, which he later renamed to PUMA. I'm convinced with what Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said, "The irony of our times is that we have guided missiles, but we have misguided men." We are actually in the era of tall men but short character, and it is phenomenal what Will Smith said. We spend money we haven't earned on things we don't need to impress people we don't like. We are actually aiming for higher incomes, but we have got lower morals, steep profits but shallow relationships. It doesn't require any effort to create a relationship. It practically doesn't require any effort to break a relationship either. What actually requires effort is the maintenance of relationship. And it is hilarious that the people who fall in love at first sight divorce at the first fight. I believe that money is the worst discovery of human life, but it is the most trusted material to test the human nature. Before leaving, I just want to ask you one question. If money was no object, if you really didn't care about the opinions of your friends, of your parents, if you could wake up to do something, what would you do today? My name is Veeresh. We'll be coming back with a lot many exciting videos like this. Look forward to joining me. Stay focused. Keep smiling.